Hey everyone, this is Steve with Collider here at the Cinema Center in Toronto at the Toronto Film Festival. I want to give a huge thank you to Range Rover Sport for being our sponsor. We wouldn't be here without them, and I really want to say thank you for helping us support cinema here at TIFF. And now, I really want to start with congratulations. This is your directorial debut as a short. You've done a music video before, but this is like you know what I mean, like first film. And I really want to say congrats. I thought you did a great job, and it's because you teamed with her. I think the two of you together, you know what I mean? So I hate asking the generic thing at the start, but no one will have seen it yet. So how have you guys been describing the film to friends and family?
Oh God, you take that one. Thank you, by the way, that was nice.
Thank you for saying that I'm the reason it was really good.
I think it's honestly it's a combination of the two. It's your performance and script and your direction. It's a combo.
Well, how would you describe this?
I would say that it is like a very real depiction of gay relationships, and very specifically gay people in their like mid-30s, where they're not young and like crazy anymore, and they're not older and like have their life figured out. They're sort of in that like middle ground. And so that was sort of the inspiration for why I wanted to do it. Is I just wanted to showcase that and showcase like real relationships and what they look like, and they can look all different ways. And yeah.
Also, Talia has like she's an incredible comedy writer, and when we read it, it was sort of just like
another piece,
just like a little short, like a little piece of her work. And Ro and I, my producing partner, and I read it, and we were like, we have to make this because it's so good and so poignant and so special. And it also is really perfect to cast all of our best friends in all of these roles. And it was great for me because I just got to sit around and tell all my friends what to do for 3 days.
That's exactly what I wanted to know, because everyone felt so comfortable together. And so how much was it like, with casting, was it all like everyone on frame? Is it people that you're best friends with?
Yeah, basically.
Yes. And my little sisters are background. Some people that work in our office are background in the party. It was like a family affair for sure. And we also, because Blake, who plays Devin, and Talia are best friends, we're all best friends. So they really do have that kind of banter, and so I was sort of able to track them and let them improvise, and I know their strengths as comedians, so I felt like I could amplify them in moments where maybe it wasn't there in the script, but they were just like, and then I had to really rein them in because they're so stupid.
One of the things though is when you're making a short film like this, you need to accomplish so much in such little time. And so how much before you stepped on set were you, whether it be rehearsing or blocking or doing things knowing you had a limited schedule to make it?
I remember I went to your house
you became an absolute monster. She was set. Like, I'm a diva.
Yeah,
I need a lot of attention.
That's right. I started that. That's how I started.
What is my deal? How many points on the back end?
Yeah, exactly. When it goes and becomes like a roller coaster, how much of that do I get?
When I blow up.
But yeah, no, I went to Dakota's like, I think a week or two before we were going to shoot it. And we like went through the scenes like one by one. And we were sort of like just chatting about how we could make it better or shorter and more punchy or whatever. So we did that like, I think once or twice before we actually got to set.
Yeah. But we didn't have time to do blocking and proper rehearsals or anything. It was all really free, a lot of improvising. The DP that I work with, Christina Dunlap, and I work together multiple times and have a really like shorthand communication. So hold for sirens. I'm a director now. So it was like, it flowed really well. And a lot of people did us favors because, they thought the script was great. So it was good.
How did you come up with the title, and how much did you debate calling it something else?
Oh my God.
This is a journey.
It was such a journey. It was called something else almost always. And
it was called something else for every month. It was a different
every
title.
version. And it was like a hot thing between me, Dakota, and Ro. And we were sort of just like, what is this thing? And then truly we were like talking a few months ago sort of about this subject matter. And Blake, who plays Devin, was like, "You're a loser, baby." And he like made fun of me because of what we were talking about. And we were all like, hold on, is that the name of the short? And that was it.
Yeah. But we had lots of titles, and we had to keep going back to the editing house to be like, it's actually this now. It's actually this now. And change it to this color. And it's actually this now.
I'm very curious. How much did you debate with doing, this is like directorial debut short film. How much did you debate what you wanted to be the thing that you come out with? Did you think about doing a feature, or were you like, I really want to start with this?
Well, I actually felt like I just didn't want anybody else to be directing these people doing this thing. I was like, I know this so well. I know them so well. I love them with all my heart. And I didn't plan any of it. And also I didn't know that Ro submitted to Toronto and we didn't know.
Neither of us.
So
Wait, what?
we didn't know. We just made this short just like to make a short and see for fun. And I loved directing and I love making things. I love editing. I love music. I love the whole process. So it was really just like for us. And Rose submitted it and told us when it had gotten in. So I don't know what we're doing here, honestly.
Well, first of all, you deserve to be like, this is the festival, but that's crazy. Like, I'm just thinking about that. It's like, that had to have been, what was that like when Rose said, oh, by the way, we're going to the Toronto Film Festival?
It was so cool.
Hilarious.
It was wild. I was like,
absolutely
what?
Hilarious. I was like,
With
do they
this?
know it's like, did they make a mistake?
So I'm fascinated by the editing process because it's where it all comes together. So I know it's a short, but how did the film change in the editing room in ways you guys didn't expect?
I think because there's in the edit, I found that we had to fill some spaces in order to make the transition of the conversations flow in the party more. So it was trying to figure out what we could do to create like space and time and to show time passing without it taking up too much time, because it is a short and we didn't want to add a bunch of like, just bullshit dialogue. So it was like the ability to, while we were shooting, just pick up like little things here and there, knowing later. I guess it was like when I always hear when I'm acting, like we have to do like an exterior establishing shot. I'm like, why do we have to do an establishing shot? It's like my nightmare. I think it's so lame, but then it makes sense for a viewer to go like, oh, okay, this is where I am. So knowing that, I think just being able to track like the passing of time and people getting more and more fucked up throughout the party so that the audience knows, okay, this is where I am.
I love the line, wrong and strong. So talk a little bit about where that came from. Do you remember?
I do. It's when Val...
Yeah, but did she improvise that?
She improvised that, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it's very good. Do you want
It's very Talia. She's very wrong and strong. Especially her quads.
Do you want to
feel them later.
Do you want to explain what wrong and strong means?
I think it's like knowing you're in the wrong and still pressing on with that POV with like all your might a little bit is what I think she meant it.
Yeah, or just like arrogant ignorance.
Arrogant ignorance. Like I think Lizzie in that moment is like clearly in the wrong and like just trying to prove herself right in that moment, but like just won't give it up.
Just like a lot of people in politics these days.
Wow, and just like that.
And there she goes.
Right. Oh, we could. I don't want to get you in trouble, but believe me, I have strong feelings. I will say that I have Representative Adam Kinzinger coming in to support his film, The Last Republican. He's coming in tomorrow or Monday, I forget, to let you know what side I might support.
Okay.
FYI.
Copy that.
Yeah, it's not Trump. just FYI. And I've opened the door, and I'm so sorry. So I read, could be wrong, that like basically you haven't done that much acting.
I've done none.
Yeah, like
0.
So what is it like actually knowing that you're going to be like the star of a short film like this, and like you go through a lot in the movie. You have a lot of important scenes, and your girlfriend relationships, talking about sex. It's very like, it's a big role.
Yeah, it's really so wild. I don't know, these Dakota and Ro were both like, if we make this, you have to be in it. And I was like, okay, are we sure? And they were like, I think you were even like, I'm not going to direct it if you're not in it. Or I made that up.
But I like it, so keep it. That's the story now.
But it was wild. And I think I wrote it obviously very specifically for me. Like, I wouldn't say that I don't think I got the range to go other places, but like, I think I was like, I don't know. I loved it. It was so fun. It was very wild. I think the most wild part is people seeing it after, because I'm like, I'm a writer. Like, I could sit back and sort of let things play out and be like, they said that weird thing, or they're, having sex with their friend in the beginning. But to be the one doing it is like truly wild.
Yes, the actress that plays Martina Navratilova is Talia's best friend, and they had to make out.
It was
and
so weird.
Have simulated sex, and it was the funniest thing I've ever seen. But you were so brave and like open and present, and took direction really well, and like you were good with continuity. It's like really truly a natural. She's a star.
And can I just ask, what were you like the night before the first day of filming?
That's such a good question. I feel like I was definitely nervous, but I also felt like I was in really good hands at the same time. And I mean, Blake is one of my best friends, and I knew that being there with him and being in scenes, and Jesse and Chelsea and all the people who are in it, I knew that it was going to be a very kind room to act in. Sure. But then also having like Dakota there was like so nice. And also you were like the kindest person with me, where whatever note she came in with, it was like just very soft. You were like, and maybe on this one we do this.
No, I never would say we.
And maybe we do this together.
Okay, no, you're a monster. There's no fucking way.
Yeah.
And maybe on this one
we a lot.
Right. So you never said we?
No, I'd be like, Talia, no, do this.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not an actor, but I've spoken to a lot of actors, and they talk about one of the key secrets to a great director is how you give direction, and whether or not it's in front of the crew or you pull someone aside. And what have you learned as an actor that you wanted to make sure you brought to set when you're directing someone else?
Oh my God. I feel like I mean, I've had all different kinds of direction and, methods of direction. I've had the whispers in the ear, and I've had the yelling from behind camera, like, that's horrible. So I've had it all. And I think what I on this, what I loved so much was being able to, because I know them so well, being able to go, can you do that thing that you do sometimes, like when she throws the chicken into the fire, or goes like, I'm all set, girly. That's very Talia to call everyone girly. So I could just because I knew them so well, it's like, it was very specific. But then also having worked on comedies and on a comedy show, there were moments where we'd let the camera roll and I'd like call out ideas of improvisation from behind the camera. But I feel like it was mostly just they were in it, and they were, being themselves, but not really being these characters with peppering of themselves in it. And I was able to sort of just like map out where we were headed.
I definitely want to know if after this, if you've gotten a taste for the director's chair, and if you are reading other scripts, if you're thinking about doing a feature, like what are your plans as a director?
I feel like I have so much to learn in that department, and the times when I've felt confident that I could do something and make it, do it to my standards. I feel like with this, I was like, oh no, I can do that because I know it backwards and forwards. But I don't know. I'm open to directing more if it feels really authentic and true to me. I'm not gonna force it, and I am nowhere near like as well versed in that department. So I don't know. I'm always reading scripts, and sometimes it sparks different aspects of me, like if I want to act in it or produce it or sometimes direct. So I don't know. TBD.
I have a question for you in a second, but I have to, now that you've done this, what is your reaction when you see other people who have starred, produced, written, and directed? Do you have more like awe that someone can do that? Do you feel like that's something you can do in the future? Or like, because I'm blown away when someone is the star, wrote, directed, producing, like it's all of those are singular, incredibly difficult jobs.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. I totally understand the like mechanics of a brain that can do that. I get it. It's not like I haven't necessarily found the thing or written the thing or done the thing that's that for me yet, but I'm in such admiration of people who are able to do that, and I definitely understand from an actor's perspective, because you spend so much, or I've spent so much time on set, like watching everybody and listening and just studying people. So I totally get creating a whole world in your own heart and mind and wanting to bring that to life.
I read, and you've written episodes of Ghosts.
Yeah.
And also how you worked on How I Met Your Mother early in your career. I loved that show. What was that experience like for you? What did you learn from it that you took with you to when you worked on Ghosts and have written other things?
I was just an assistant on How I Met Your Mother, but it was pretty fun because it was a show that I watched and loved. And I think I don't know that I learned, I learned about like just the industry in general. I was like 22 when I had that job. But I think every job I've had subsequently has given me a piece of something to take to the next job.
What about Ghosts? Because that's also a very popular show.
Yeah, it's great. It's in its 4th season. It's amazing. We shoot in Montreal. It's like a really fun show to work on. And yeah, I've been on it since the beginning, and it's just a delight.
You've written, I want to say 4 episodes, or am I wrong about this?
I think that's right. I think I wrote one each season, and then I shared one maybe. I really should know this answer more specifically.
Well, one of the things I'm curious about is, for people that are curious, how does it work in the writer's room in terms of getting that episode? Is it one of these things where you're assigned, you come up with an idea, and then they're like, oh, you should flesh that out?
Yeah, basically, all shows are run a little bit differently, but on our show, it's sort of like we come up with an idea for an episode, and if people are starting to like it and we're having fun pitching on various scenes that could take place in it, maybe a room will go off and really try to flesh out what that episode looks like. And usually at that point, it will get assigned, so someone could really shepherd it on like into the next phase. Then someone's sent off to write the script. It comes back into the room. It's edited, and then we will read it, and then it's edited again, and then it'll eventually be shot.
I definitely have to ask you, now that you've had a taste of being in front of the camera, is it something that you're interested in pursuing with like writing yourself a role, or like what's that?
I think, yes, sort of. If for the right thing, definitely. Working with the right people, I think, as this short demonstrates, it's like it can be so fun and nice, and I think that's really when I would do it. I recently had one line in my friend's movie where I played a gym teacher, which is probably the job I would have if I didn't have this job. So it was a very natural thing for me to do. So stuff like that I would do.
Got it. I have to ask you, Dakota, if you don't mind. I am a fan of when you're acting, and I am a big fan of Selene Song, which I know you just worked with her. What can you tease people about that project and getting to work with her?
I mean, she is I am deeply in love with her and with her as a director, as a filmmaker, as a human. She's I just had the most amazing time with her, and I don't know what I can say about that movie. Probably nothing. I wasn't prepared for that question.
I'm so sorry. It's her. Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't want to get you in trouble. I'll just say that that could probably play at a festival at some point in the future.
That would be fun.
You know,
That would definitely be fun.
So my last thing, we're at TIFF. When does your film? Actually, two-parter. This is probably my last thing. When does it premiere? Is it tonight?
It is this afternoon.
Okay. And for people that want to actually see this at some point, like, do you have a release plan? Like, what's
No. No one will ever see it. So
Okay. Amazing.
that's, I mean, we didn't even know we were coming here.
Right.
Okay.
So is there like, I mean, because you could also team up with like Vimeo or a streamer or, you know what I mean?
We could. Will we? Who knows? I don't know.
So basically it's early days in terms
It's
of
up
how
for
people
grabs.
will see it.
That's for sure. It's up
Right.
for grabs.
Okay.
You know.
Heard it here.
You heard it here first.
Okay.
There's a price.
Right.
But
Last thing for you. Do you know what you're shooting next as an actor? Or do you know what's coming up?
yes, I do. Tea Time, my company, we're going to make 2 films before the end of the year. So I'm going to shoot them back to back. One is called Splitsville. It's with Mike Covino directing, and Mike and what?
Don't
Okay.
speak about the second one, she said.
Okay.
Yeah. Trying to help you out. It's not announced yet.
Oh, okay. I won't. I will not
So
say
she's
anything.
she's making 2
and
films
I'm
this
announcing
year.
it now.
Right. She's filming 2 films this year, but only one has been announced.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Right.
Yeah, Splitsville is happening as we speak.
What's really funny is I had people in yesterday who were talking about projects, and after it was over, they're like, "Oh yeah, I please don't run that. Like we
Yeah.
absolutely should not have talked about that."
Yeah, that's a funny thing in this industry, but like ultimately, why? Who cares? But
I'm going to guess, and this is just us, just talking with no bullshit. It's either A, someone has the exclusive announcement, or B, someone's contract isn't signed. I'm guessing it's one of those things.
you're right.
What?
It is one of those things,
Yeah.
or both.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those. That's what always happens, even though things are about to fill. Well, anyway, listen. Congrats on this.
Thanks.
I'm so happy for you and for you.
Thank
and
you.
Thank you so much for coming in to talk about it. And I really hope it comes out so people can see it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.